Hello everyone, today I will be showing you how to change the brake fluid on a Suzuki Van 2010. Here is my bike, very nice, got this in February 2018, 26,000 miles on it, runs very well, still needs a bit of work, little touches like this. I've done a full service on it, it's going well. So I will be changing the fluid to this stuff, which apparently is the greatest brake fluid, clutch fluid ever. As you can see, never needs to be replaced if replaced properly. Won't damage your paintwork, less risk of fire, extremely high boiling point, eliminates corrosion, and it is environmentally friendly, which is great. So here we go. Actually, what have I got tools wise? So I've got that. Got a bunch of tools here. Probably most essential will be this tube, silicone tubing. I don't know how much this cost me. I've had it a while, I've used it many times, it's fine. I don't know, £2 from B&Q or something like that. And in here somewhere, amongst my mess, is an 8mm one of these. So that's not 8mm. And you'll use that to crack open the bleed valve. Keep hold of that as well. There's the 8mm one. Okay, first things first, I'm just going to cover up sort of the surrounding area, because brake fluid can be a bit corrosive. I don't think it's as bad as it used to be, but you know, just a bit of this cheap blue paper stuff, I think it is worth doing. Otherwise I recommend just sort of mopping it up as soon as you can. If you spill it anywhere, you should be okay. I don't think it's really worth worrying about too much, but for the sake of this video, why not? Okay, I'm going to rip a hole in this one and create like a little bib, as you can see, lovely. Now this one's really full because I've just put new pads and it's forced the brake fluid back up again, so I expect a lot to come out when I open it up. You want to get your bike this as level as possible. Now this bike doesn't have a centre stand, so that's a bit more difficult to do, but I think I've got close enough. Now to undo these screws, they can be really soft, so I recommend using the screwdriver that comes with the Suzuki toolkit in this bike or any other. I've got 3 Suzuki bikes, so I've got loads of these. These tend to fit really snugly in there, so you're less likely, not unlikely, less likely to mash up these screws, because they're kind of like made of cheese. But you can't really replace them with any other bog standard screws. You kind of have to keep them if you can, or you have to wait for new ones. So use the Suzuki screwdriver if you have it. I mean, others will work fine, but this is best. Okay, I've got extra paper here because I know this is very full, so I expect it to come out, overflow everywhere. But here we go. Make sure that's nice and snug in there. Okay, it's being a bastard. Okay, top two-hander. There we go. That one's loose. There we go. And take those out. And put them somewhere safe, because obviously they're going back in. Paper's going everywhere. Yeah, if you can find somewhere indoors to do this, I'd recommend that, but you know, not everyone has that luxury. Okay, I got those. Can you see that? Yeah. Put them in your pocket or similar, somewhere safe. So here we go, I'm going to take the lid off. Slowly pull it apart. That looks in very good condition, so I'm quite happy with that. The seal is holding up very nicely. Just give everything a good clean up while you're here. Lovely. Put that down somewhere safe. And now the diaphragm. Oh yeah, that does need changing, definitely. So clean that up, give it a good inspection. It should be completely crack free. If that is cracked or broken, it's not doing its job. But clean up of all the old fluid. Doesn't have to be perfect, you're just sort of doing it. Why here? You're like, why not? Bit of old fluid, and there's a tiny bit of old fluid on that, it's going to be fine. Just clean it out. That looks okay. So now what this does, this seals the fluid from the outside world, and as your pads wear, the fluid goes down obviously, and this goes down with it, and so there's no wear in the system ever. As you get new pads, you push the fluid back up, that goes back up with it. So if that's cracked, it's going to let fluid and air in and out. So it's kind of, you need a new one. If it's cracked, get rid of it straight away. It's not going to do anything. But they rarely break. They're not under that much pressure, and they're kept quite moist. They don't dry out. So that one is fine. Obviously I'll use that again, thankfully. Put that down somewhere safe place. Now, you may not be able to see it. In there, where are we looking? In there is all the fluid. That is very dirty. That is very dirty fluid in there. So it does need changing quite a lot. So what I'm going to do is try and adjust the bars a bit, just to sort of get it at a level. The fluid is quite level, is as level as it can be in there. You can tell by having the same level mark all the way round. That's pretty much level now. Okay, now the first things first is we're going to remove this old fluid, not entirety. You don't want to go down to where it's let into the system, but just to a level, because there's no point pumping through, because all we can do is pump this old fluid out the bottom, and there's no need to pump all of that through. So I'll show you how to do that in a sec. So to extract the first bit of the fluid, I have this thing. So obviously I'm just going to stick it in there, pull some out, stick it in my waste bottle. As mentioned before, you don't want to go past the level where the fluid starts going into the piping. So then you start drawing air into it, then you have to really bleed your brakes, not just change the fluid, and that's a lot of work. That's a whole different thing. Doesn't actually look, now when I look at it, too bad, this fluid. It's not too rough, but you know, I'm here now. Okay. Old fluid in there, the initial part. I brought the fluid down to very low, but not past where it starts being absorbed into the piping, down to the caliper. If you go past that, then you start pouring air in, and then you have to bleed your brakes completely, it's too far. But I've taken a good chunk of it out because what happened was we're going to pump this old fluid through the bottom of through the caliper, through the bleed valve, and there was no point having to pump all of that out, which I don't know how much that is, 100 mil or something. That's just too much. There's no need for it. So just draw it out the top. But as I said, not too far. Now to open up the new fluid, which comes with a cable tie. Okay, cool. You can get this stuff on eBay. I got it. It's twice the price of the bog standard fluid. .4. This is .5. Is that .5? Yeah, .5 fluid. It is twice the price, but apparently you never need to change it ever again if you change it correctly, which I will. Okay, new fluid open. Step 1 is to top this up just a bit so that you don't. Oh, it's a completely different colour. There you go. So you don't accidentally bring the old fluid through. Now this stuff is purple coloured, which is amazing. So I'll definitely know when it's come through the rest of the system when I bleed it out the bottom. Great, so that's topped up. Now, to bleed the old stuff that's in the line here, which you can't see, which is in the brake line, going down through the bottom, out of the bleed valve down there. First things first, we need to crack this loose. That's 8mm. Don't use that side because you'll probably mash up the bleed valve on that section there, because it only pulls on 2 sides. Use that side, you get all 6 sides of this 8mm bleed valve. Just crack it loose, not too far, just so you know you don't have to wrestle with it later. There we go. That is loose. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to put that silicone pipe, which is here. I'm going to attach that to the bleed valve. There, the good end, if you have one end better than the other. The flattest end, shove that on there as well as you can. This is where the old fluid is going to pump out, and my old fluid is black, my new fluid is purple, so I'll know when I'm done. Okay, that's good that's on there nicely. And the other end, this other end, goes into my waste bottle, which is this. And that goes on the ground or wherever you like. Tends to want to tip over quite a lot, so maybe I'll see if I can get it there in my exhaust. Actually, bike's not been on, so it shouldn't be too hot or hot at all. Lovely. So there's the whole setup, which is silicone hose coming from the bleed valve into there. So it won't even probably get into the bottle. It's just for me to sort of catch it as I disassemble the whole setup. Okay, so the procedure is going to be squeeze that, open that, let's watch the old shite come out, close it, then release that. So it's a two-handed job, ideally a two-people job. But so it's squeeze, you get some pressure on that with one hand, squeeze with one hand. On the right, that's my left hand, squeeze my left hand, right hand opens that. You'll feel the pressure be released on that, so that will go right down. Once that's down, once that lever is down, you close that up. Then you can let this lever out. So left hand there, right hand there, squeeze, hold down, open, close, release. I'll try and get that on camera, but it's a bit tough. Okay, so I'm going portrait for this, so you can see the whole thing. Hopefully you can hear me, but here we go. So it's squeeze, open, close, release. squeeze, open, close, release, 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 open, close, release, squeeze, open, close, release, squeeze, open, close, release. Now whilst you're doing this, keep an eye on your fluid level here, because if you go down to the section where it starts drawing in to the brake hose, it will draw air in, and you don't want to do that. You really don't want any air in there. So you can see mine, I don't know if you can, it's very low, so I need to top that up again with the new stuff, because what I'm happening, I'm pumping it through the old stuff all the way down this hose, down there, pumping the old stuff through, and back out here. I don't want to be drawing air in here. All I want to be drawing in there is new fluid, so that's all new fluid. So I need to keep topping that up, keep an eye on it, so that it doesn't draw air in. The procedure is, once again, squeeze. I can't do this on film because it's impossible to, no, so squeeze, crack that open. Whilst you're squeezing there, do not let go of that. Do not let go of that. Crack that open, then close it. Then you can release that. And that will draw fluid in there, down the pipe, slowly, bit by bit, down the pipe. And as you crack that open, it will pump it out there. So I can see I've still got a way to go, because this is all sort of dirty, yellowy, horrible, old, completely fouled brake fluid. My new stuff is brilliant purple, so until I can see purple in there, I need to keep going. Right, as you can see, this brake fluid, as I mentioned, is purple. And now what's coming out of the tube, I brought this down actually, maybe in the exhaust pipe wasn't a fantastic idea, but now what's coming out of the tube is just purple fluid. So there you get a good idea that, you know, now all this in the brake line and right down into the shoe, right up to the pistons, is all the fresh fluid. I'm starting to get really good, strong, nice feel on the lever as well. Sometimes it's worth giving it a couple of pumps before you go through the procedure. So I'll pump it a bit more, top that up because it's getting low, but I think I'm getting close to being done. So I'm pretty much done. So I've been pumping it through here, down the hose, through the caliper, and out here. And out, you can see in this pipe now, all there is brand new purple fluid. So if I keep going, I'm just pumping out brand new fluid, which obviously is a waste of money. But what that does tell me is that all the crap is gone and is in there. See that? And on top of it is the good stuff. So it's time for me to stop. So I nip that up as tight as I dare, really. I don't want to go too tight. I can't really go any more than that, really. That's extremely tight. So that's done. Pull this down. So that's between my feet now. And I'm going to pop this off. Make sure that's tight again. Now you don't want to absolutely lean on this so it's so deadly tight that it can never be opened, or that you ruin the bleed valve or the threads in here. That's just not worth it, because then you need to basically need a whole new caliper. So you're better off just sort of nipping it up and then just sort of seeing a bit later if you can just give it an extra nip afterwards. I reckon because I'm up against that, I can't go any tighter anyway. But that's probably alright. Right, I'm going to take this off and try and hold it upwards so it drains down into the bottle. There's going to be some spillage. You just got to mop it up straight away. So I'm just going to let an extra check to see if it's tight enough. It went a little further. That's as much as I dare, really. Get a little piece of paper. Can be quite corrosive. Well, this stuff apparently is not corrosive at all, so I don't have to worry too much. Clean that up. She did actually quite a tidy job. Well practiced at this. First time I did it, went everywhere. Nipple back on. Nipple cover, sorry, back on. Nice. So you can see here, you have the lower mark. So you obviously don't want it below there. So you want it just sort of the top of the window, ideally. Which I've kind of gone over, but a little bit over is okay. So it's got a good feel now on the lever. So I know it has improved. It's not too hard, not too soft. It's and it's a big improvement. So it's time to give that just a bit of a clean up. Actually, I think I'm going to top it up just a little bit more, just to give a little firmer feeling on the lever. And the more fluid you put in, the harder and the higher the biting point, as it were, of your lever will be. And I prefer it to be quite a good, strong, stiff feeling. That's pushing down on those calipers, on those pistons, pads, and then into the disc, nice and strong. Next, I'm putting back together all these bits and bobs. Quite simple to do. Now usually I don't think it can go, I think it can go either way, that way, but the writing's all this way. I sit on the bike facing that way, so I may as well put it back together as it came. Make sure the seal is seating it properly. Put that in there. No worries, that's still a high quality seal. But what you definitely want is, here, there are little notches. And they're just there. And there are also little notches on the seal. Just there and there. And now you want them to match up. Bit of seepage there. It's to be expected. Okay. Now, as you press down, a little bit of fluid may come out. That's okay. And just tighten it all up gently. Now feel free to comment. I could be doing this wrong. It's always worked for me. I'd be interested to hear what you think. I'm not a guru, I'm not a master. This is how I've always done it. Never let me down. So a bit of feedback would be great, and hopefully this has helped you. When you hear those little clicks, sometimes that's a good indication that you're getting to good levels of tightness. Now you don't want to over tighten these, because then you need a whole new slave cylinder, they call this. Slave cylinder? Master cylinder. I don't even know how much they cost, but you just kind of think you don't want to go through. Feeling good. So we're done. Great feeling brake lever. Fresh fluid in the window. looking much cleaner. No mess. Much better. As you said, pumped out through there, and it's feeling much better. Brake fluid used is Automec .5, the most advanced brake and clutch fluid ever formulated. So there's more work to be done on this bike. I think need some rear brake pad changed in the brake shoes. Got quite a tappy sound from the front, the exhaust valve. So I think that's a bit too loose. That's an indication it's too loose, so I'll be doing that soon. Thank you very much. And please like and comment. It's a good possibility that I've done something wrong. This process has always worked for me, but I'm open to new ideas and new ways of doing things. And please do subscribe. There's a subscribe button on the screen. It should be roughly where the headlight of the van is right now. And click subscribe, and please turn on notifications. I don't upload videos all the time, so I think it's alright for you to be notified, if that's okay. And you'd be helping me out big time.